Hey everybody, welcome to Muscular Development's combo preview. This is a first. Texas Pro and the Europa Pro. Texas Pro happening in Irving, Texas, outside of Dallas on Saturday. Europa Pro happening all the way over in Europe in Alicante, Spain on Sunday. These are the last two shows to qualify for the Mr. Olympia contest. Unless you happen to win the Arnold Classic 2 weeks before the Olympia, then you're qualified too. But this is it. It's come down to the wire. This is where everyone's trying to grab those last slots to get into the Olympia, the Mr. Olympia. Joining me, who else, especially if we're talking about shows in Europe, I wouldn't be lost without this man right here, Giles Tiger Thomas, producer of MD Global Muscle, Buff Bombshells, Nothing But a Podcast with Ronnie Coleman. This is the IFBB Hype Show. I'm losing track. You're doing so much. You're such a busy guy.
Yep.
Author of the MD Global Buzz column in Muscular Development Magazine, Giles Thomas. Giles.
Ron.
So before the preview, we do have to, I really feel we need to pay respects to John Meadows, who passed away very suddenly over the weekend, very unexpected. I'd just seen him a couple weeks before that. And he's one of those guys, it's really hard to imagine him being gone. He was such a vital part of the industry as a writer, as a coach, a personality, an educator, a mentor. He was so many things to so many people. Everybody who knew him loved him dearly. And this was a real shock.
This was news I really didn't want to be true. You know, I thought, I really hope this isn't true. And to be honest, the first thing I thought about was Missy Truscott and Terence Ruffin, because I knew, because they really speak about him almost like a father figure, you know, because he's more than a trainer. He's the way you talk about Lee Haney is how I felt after I had him on Global last year. You know, and you just feel like you feel better. I don't know, you feel like a better human being for talking to them for 30 minutes. It sounds weird, but I'd only ever spoke to him a couple of times at shows. I remember seeing him backstage at the 2012 what's it called? Dallas Europa. He was in the 2012, and he was doing towel pulls with Tricky Jackson. And I remember just looking at his upper chest, and what a lovely guy. They're so well thought of. And I tell you what, if you made a list of the people that no one has ever said a bad word about, he'd be on that list. And to be honest, the impact this has had is pretty much, I think it's as much as Luke's when we lost Luke Sander last year. You know, like literally people that are saying, I've never met him, but I'm in tears. You know, because we all feel like a real sense of loss, you know, and but it also makes me realize also what an amazing community the bodybuilding world is, really, because, you know, there's, like I said, there's people that are saying they've never met him that are really heartbroken at this, you know, and I just feel for his family, I feel for his wife, and I feel for his children, and I really bit of a weird one. It's so sad. 49 years old, but what an amazing man. What a loss to the industry. And I'm glad you brought him up, because I wanted to bring him up today. You know. Yeah,
I don't know if it was Instagram or the MD forum somewhere. It was you that said he was a great example of how to live a life, and you know, we should all leave a legacy like that and be remembered in the way that he's going to be remembered. Because I mean, we're all going to go sometime, and what do you leave behind? And he left behind so many people that he helped and inspired. You know, a lot of people's lives are better because of John in some way or another. And I don't think you can ask for anything more. That's, you know, money, success, none of that is as important as the impact you make on people. Did you make the world a better place while you were here on Earth? John Meadows did that. He definitely did that.
That's a guy that will be remembered forever in the industry. I mean, absolutely. And out of the industry. I'm sure in his local area, I'm sure that he's very well thought of, but so what can you say? But just what an amazing man, what an amazing loss to the industry. But I'm just glad we had him for the time we did.
Right. Yeah, and you know, anyone who was actually fortunate enough to know him feels very honored, very privileged. I knew him a little bit. I wish I had known him better, but like you said, he had such a positive aura and energy around him. Anytime I was around him, you felt good. He was just. He was a good person. There was no negativity. There was never any bitterness. You know, me and Jose were talking. We talked about him, and, you know, me and Jose, we have our moments. We get emotional sometimes. We can be a-holes sometimes, but I never saw that guy lose his cool. I never saw him. Anyway, we're going to move on.
He's a legend. His legend will live on forever.
Absolutely. So we are going to talk about the men's divisions in these shows, the Texas Pro and the Europa Pro. And immediately afterward, we have Lauren Lauder, co-host of Buff Bombshells. Did she do it with you? A preview of all the women's divisions?
If you know, I'm not actually in my office today. I'm actually in the studio because I'm actually sending over because it's all linked up to the hard drive. I'm actually sending over the preview we filmed for for the female divisions for Alicante and Texas. I'm sending it over now so we can piece it onto this, and then it can go out tomorrow. So yeah, we did it earlier. It went great. Really, really good. And awesome. So I'd rather you and I gloss over some of the female categories. I gave it to her and she did a fantastic job with it. So obviously you'll see it at the end of this.
Perfect. Because, I've said this about the Buff Bombshell show many times, is it really filled a void. I'm not the most knowledgeable about a lot of the female categories. I know the very top people, but after that, I admit I don't follow it as well as I could. And thank goodness for Emma and Lauren and yourself having that platform where you guys do talk about the competitors, because all the divisions work very, very hard to be on that stage. Yeah. So let's get into it. Texas Pro, this is Steve Kuclo's backyard. He lives right there in the Dallas area. He hasn't competed since the Olympia last year. Steve is always tough. I've been following him I expected nothing less, but of course he's in great condition. He's probably about 285 at this point, I'm guessing. Big man, wide, a bodybuilder's bodybuilder, just a big, massive guy with a tight midsection, good muscle separation, big smile, great attitude. Steve Kuclo is the heavy favorite going in, but of course we just had Iain Valliere, who won the Tampa Pro. Instead of just sitting on his laurels, figured, while I'm in the US, why not just jump into this and try to win this? He really wants a chance to stand next to Steve and, see how he compares, because he feels they have some similar strengths. So if he could possibly beat Steve at this show, that would put him in a better spot for this year's Olympia to move up from 7th to higher for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting because I'll go to Steve first, because I had Steve on MD Globe Muscle. The episode's out now. Well, by the time you watch this, it'll be episode 27 that he was on.
Oh, great.
Had him on with Valliere separately. And he's really good. He's really happy to be back because he hasn't competed since the Arnold Classic last year.
Arnold Classic, you're right. He didn't do the Olympia last year.
No, he didn't do the Olympia last year. He did 4th at the Arnold last year. He beat Sergio in 5th. Rami was 3rd. And then the last time he did the Olympia, he was 6th place in 2019. So really, like him and Valliere, kind of like you got Valliere at 7th in last year's Olympia. You got Kuclo at 6th in the Olympia the year before. So really, they're very evenly matched. So it's going to be interesting to see who's pulled ahead in terms of how much work they put in. So, and I mean, Steve, he always had like a quiet confidence when I had him on the other week. And he was he seemed very kind of, when you could see the diet face, he seemed fresh, he seemed focused. I mean, remembering that you and I were at the Arnold in 2018, and I remember because I was like, oh, here we go, Steve Kuclo again. He's going to look like Hakeem did for many years. We just think this guy's never going to get it together. Right. And then he turned around and everything was just etched in. And I said to Steve, if you can do what you did from that year to that year when you stepped up at the Arnold Classic, I think it was 2018. I'm sure it was 2018 because he's nailed it every time since. If you can do that again with what you did in terms of your progression, with your separation and your kind of conditioning, I said, you're going to really move up this year. You're going to be the guy to sort of, he's 200 years over 280. I mean, I don't, like I said on the, I think I said it to you. I said, I don't think people realize how big Steve is,
Stand next to him sometime, guys. You'll see.
And he's tall. I mean, I'm 6 foot and I'm literally holding the mic up to him like that. I mean, he's a giant. I mean, I think my favorite body part of his is his shoulders, because when he does that hands-on hit most muscular, his delts are the same size as his head. It's like he's got 3 heads. He's like a 3-headed beast. Yeah. So I'm just happy to see him back. And I bullied him about doing a decent posing routine, because his posing up till about 2019 Olympia was shocking, and I bullied him about it. But he's really stepped it up this year. It's going to be high energy, and I'm just excited to see him back, really. And I think, and also with Valliere, I mean, that's really that's a hell of a gamble for Iain to do that, right after winning the Tampa. I mean,
what does he have to lose, though? He's already qualified for Olympia. I mean, he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Are you as good
if he loses to Kuclo, Kuclo's a great bodybuilder. There's no shame in losing to Kuclo.
Yeah. But I mean, with regards to Iain, Like I said, I sent those videos and pictures there last week because Patrick Tour's coach was sending me stuff. And I said, well, how's he looking? How's he doing? He said, well, he's going to be 260. He's 260 upon waking, which means he's 8 pounds up from the Olympia. But when I saw, if you go basically about how he looked at Tampa, even at the night show, I would see I'd like to see another 2 or 3 pounds off him because I don't think he was quite in the condition that he was at the night show at the Olympia last year. Right. So if he can just tweak, just sharpen up a little bit, because I'll be honest, I was worried for Iain at the Tampa at the judging. I didn't know whether he had it or not. When he first came out, I thought, and we were on the group chat and we're going, I don't know whether he's going to take this. And then at the night show, he pulled it out the bag, looked sensational, and won.
Yeah. So that transitions well into the next guy I want to talk about, Phil Klejar, because a lot of people had Phil winning that show. It's subjective. So if you believe that, you're not wrong. If you believe Iain was the rightful winner, you're not wrong either. But Phil, wow, he's 47 years old and better and better. We've been seeing him, I think, since 2017 Tampa. He's done that show, I want to say, every year. And he's just improved. He was already a big guy. He's bigger now. He's got better muscle separation. Yeah. Oh, did he just put that up today?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's 11th
to 2nd.
And he had Iain in a couple shots. That frontal bicep, he definitely had him. Phil's probably most improved. Maybe, I don't know, we could probably debate that as we get closer to the end of the season. But the improvements he's made, hats off to you, Phil. Wow. Yeah.
Well, by the time you watch this, Global will be out, episode 28. It's actually uploading now, because when's this going out? We're filming this today, Tuesday, isn't it today?
Well, we have Buck Bombshells Thursday morning, so hopefully we can put this up on the lunch run Thursday. At the latest, it'll go up Friday.
Well, you're going to know then that Phil Clahar was in episode 28 of MD Globe Muscle.
Well, I know he told me. I think he came down to the pool party right after he did the interview with you, and he was buzzing.
Oh, nice, yeah, nice. Yeah, and he said he had to go to a really dark place for those couple of weeks. He said it was really like. He said he had to take everything to a whole. Phil Viz, his coach.
Yeah.
He said he had to take him to a whole new level. He said I was getting up at 4:30 to do cardio. He said everything was hurting. He said but I just wanted to redeem myself after Chicago, after 11th place, 3rd call out. Yeah. He said we just knew. He said I actually had it in my head that I was going to win it. And that what does that tell you for someone's strength of mind, that they can be 11th and 3rd call out in the show and say, in 2 weeks' time, I'm winning that show. I mean, I'd have said he was nuts. I probably would have had a little bit of a laugh to myself. But the fact is, he came in and he was second. And no one would have argued if he'd have won it. But wow, 47. I mean, I don't even want to keep going about the age. I mean, it's irrelevant, really, because and I said to him, which you'll see, you've seen it anyway. Yeah. I said it looked like somebody had carved your back out with a Rambo knife. When he hit all the back shots, your muscle was that developed and separated. I mean, plus, he was very chest and back dominant last year, and I felt like he needed more arms and legs. And I think he's got that now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Phil, he might qualify for he got second. He got second there. I don't know if he could get enough points. There's too many people ahead of him in points now, so I don't know if it's possible to get to the Olympia. But I think he deserves to be on the Olympia stage, if not now, because it's too late maybe to qualify. But I'd love to see him on the Olympia stage, how he compares to some of these guys that we talk about all the time as top 10 favorites. He's come so far. I'm just really. I don't know whether I'd like to see him at the Olympia this year. I think he could go away, make some improvements, and come back next year. I think if he got to an early qualifier, or say went and did one of the post Olympia, like the Romania or something, and get some points for next year. I'd love to see him do what Elam did, and do Romania, get some points, and then qualify nice and early, and then he's got a good long time to prep for the Olympia. But second in a show like the Tampa and nearly beating the favorite Iain Valliere. I mean, I just think it's an amazing storyline from going 11th to 2nd in a couple of. Remember, Antoine Valant did it last year at the New York Pro to Cali Pro. He went from 7th to 1st in a week or 2 weeks.
To give Phil a little more credit, this was definitely a tougher lineup than the Cali Pro was last year. This was a tough show. Yeah. He beat Max Charles. He beat Charles Griffin. He beat Shaban El Elam. He beat some guys who have been top 5 in many, many shows this season already, or have won. They have all won shows in the past. But let's move on to Hassan Mustafa in his 120th show of the season. I think it's his 5th or 6th show. What a workhorse this guy is. And he's registered for the Arnold already. So, wow. What can we say, man? We're both huge fans of Hassan Mustafa's physique. He's got so much muscle, so round and full. We just want that. I know we both want to see the same thing, just little drier, tighter, Hassan. If that guy showed up in crazy condition, I don't even know I don't know what would happen with him and Kuclo, to be honest with you. If Hassan was 100% Hassan, we've never seen it.
I think he's had some good. I think he looked good. I mean, was it the New York Pro? And he started to look really good there. And I thought, he's really starting to get it together. I mean, he's definitely improved this year. I mean, we spoke about Hassan many times. We've done so many of these previews, but with Hassan, I mean, just what is it with the Egyptians? They're relentless. I mean, you got Elam and Ahmed Wadani and these guys. They're just Shaban. You know, these guys are just when they set their mind on something, they do not stop. And I mean, I just because I saw the post today where he said he was doing Texas and the Arnold. And it's like, what? But like I said, I'm a huge like when he did Tampa a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe this guy's physique, you know, and he has made improvements. But I think could Phil Clahar beat him?
I mean, if Phil looks as good as he did a couple of days ago in Tampa, yeah, absolutely. If Hassan's not 100%, Phil's got a great physique on him. You know, it's crazy how he went from definitely a B-list guy. That was not a name anybody was ever bringing up in their favorites to win shows. But from now on, his name will be in the conversation. I guarantee it. That Tampa show, I talked to him right backstage right after the show, and you know, he was a little dejected because he wanted to win, and he felt like he had the win. But I said, you know what, Phil? People are going to talk about you so much more now because they thought you should have won than they would have had you actually won. I've seen that so many times. I think take the second, although I know it sucks just to say this to somebody, but this is the best thing that could have happened to you. Better than.
It's like when Samson went through all his ordeal last year. I mean, he probably built a bigger fan base from that than if he'd have won Career or a couple of the shows he did. Right. But I think if I was Phil, I'd be glad that I did Chicago and Tampa, because if he'd have just done Tampa and got second, we'd be like, yeah, he's great. Always moved up. He's gone from fourth to second in a year. Yeah. But the fact that he did that, I think that's a talking point. That's a storyline that people can be inspired by. And they can be like, okay, we've got a real fighting chance here. And I tell you what, it says a lot for the judging as well. I bet competitors are going to go in more confident that if they say, oh, well, if I put the work in and if I improve, even in a couple of weeks. I mean, we've seen guys completely transform their physiques. I mean, Roelly did it in 2018 from the Isles in Australia, dropped 14 pounds and just completely, you know, beat Dexter, beat William. So it can be done in very short space of time, and it shows that they will be judged properly. So if Phil goes into this show and he looks as good, if not better, then he could beat, you know, any of those guys.
Yeah, he's right up there. He's put himself on the map in a big way. Next guy I want to talk about is another Egyptian, Mokhamed El Elam, now living in St. Petersburg, Russia. A lot of nice cathedrals there. But Mokhamed, I liked his look earlier in the season at the Indy Pro and New York Pro. Just the conditioning. I feel like some people can do multiple shows and get better and better. Other people, their bodies get tired, their minds get tired. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He was having a lot of issues at the Tampa show controlling his midsection. Big guy with a ton of muscle, but you know, Milos, I was doing all the commentary with Milos, the wrap-ups, and he's super critical of midsection control, as you might imagine. He was Milos Sarshev, the king of midsection control back in the day. And he was like walking on stage with not even trying to hold it in. It was just fully out. And I was like cringing. I'm like, oh no, dude, no. Everyone's seeing this. You know, it sounds like a minor detail to some of you, but believe me, it's not, because when you're that big, you want to have the smallest midsection. He doesn't have a small midsection, so he really needs to work on minimizing it visually as much as possible. He's got so much muscle. He's a big man. He gets in very good condition. That's one thing. I'm sure he's heard a lot of feedback about that already, so I doubt this is breaking news to Mokhamed. But man, that's one thing. I think if he fixes that and comes in a little tighter, he can be a factor in this show for sure.
It annoys me when guys walk on stage without controlling it, because I'm thinking, hang on a minute, the first impression is when you walk from behind the curtain to the stage. And usually especially if you're in a lineup, the judges are scanning to see who there's going to be in that first call-out. So if you're stood there with your gut hanging out, it's like, guys, come on, you know. Yeah. So I think what he did for Chicago, I think he tried to come in too full, because when I saw some of the low resolution pictures, his legs just looked like they doubled in size. I mean, his legs look fantastic, but then when I saw the high resolution, you know, you could see that his body's really starting to rebel now. But I mean, he's been going since Romania last year. He was fourth at Romania last year. Indy Pro, I thought he looked sensational. I mean, he came very close to Justin Rodriguez, and Justin, that was probably the best Justin we've ever seen. You know, and obviously his first pro win. But Mohamed, I just admire the guy's tenacity again. I mean, he's been. I mean, I don't think he's been going back and forth to Russia. I think he's been staying out in America. Oh wow. And apart from who he was staying with in LA, might have been probably Shaban actually. Probably maybe they're all part of the same Egyptian crew. He's been by himself as well. So trying to prep and train, and you know, and I can imagine that being quite difficult, you know. Sure. But I'll tell you what, doing that, it takes real guts to do that. I mean, he could have just got second at Indy and go, great, I've got second in a good American pro show. I'm going back to Russia and I'll shut it down to next year. He stayed out in America and he just kept going. And so I think
is he in the top 3 for points? I think he is.
Yeah. He's doing really well for points. I mean, I think he had 16 before. So he's going to the Olympia, but I don't think he should be doing any more shows now. I think it's pointless.
I think the top 3 in the points, the last time I checked, were all Egyptian. I think it was Shaban, Hassan Mustafa, and Mohamed.
Told you, these guys are relentless.
They're killing it. We should move to Egypt. No, I don't want to live in Egypt. But last guy I want to talk to in the open, he's a kid. He's like 24 years old. Martin Fitzwater, training partner of Brett Wilkin, training out at Armbrust Pro Gym in Colorado where Phil Heath trains. This kid I think he's good. I shouldn't even say he's going to shock a lot of people, because anyone who's seen pictures and videos of him, you could see how well he can possibly do. I really am looking forward. This will be his pro debut, and I think he's going to hold his own against everybody on that stage.
When I was looking into the Brett Wilkin thing, you know, before he kind of, he made his big splash the other week, I was like, who's this guy in the photos with him? Who's this guy training with him? And I didn't even know how young he was. And I saw Gasp were promoting him, and I just thought, shit, who's this guy? Why don't I know him? You know, because sometimes you get people training with like really good people, you know, like Dektrick training with Brandon Currey and stuff. And maybe if you didn't know Dektrick, you'd see a video of Brandon and say, who's that guy? You know, it's like, here's another guy that his name's been popping up a lot in the last couple of days. And he wasn't even on my radar till 48 hours ago, I'll be honest. Yeah. So, very excited to see. We all want to see new faces. I mean, look at the excitement that Brett Wilkin generated just doing what he did this year. I mean, it was amazing. It just, you know, it was like Phil Klejar going from 11th to 2nd. It was a really big talking point of that show. And young. I didn't realize he was that young. Have you interviewed him yet? No, I'm gonna. I want to.
You can tell when you talk to him. He's got a baby face. He talks like a young guy. It's crazy because he's so massive. You know, it's exciting to see. You know, for me to see older guys like Phil who are really improving. But it's always exciting to see the young talent, because we need that. We need the sport to be infused with new blood to keep it fresh and exciting. So Martin's going to be he's going to make an impact. There's no doubt in my mind. 212 division.
Good luck, son.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck, Junior. So the 212 division, Kerrith Bajjo won in Tampa, and that was going to be it for him. But we all had a conversation after the after the finals, after everyone was gone. It was myself, Milos, Jay Emmanuel was there, Hector, and he didn't want to go to Texas because he didn't want to take away anyone else's Olympia qualification. Right. And we all said, you're too nice. They don't care. They wouldn't care about taking away from you. I guarantee you, these other guys. It's every man for himself. You can go win another show, possibly get that money. Go get that money. You're a professional athlete. Go do it. So he's doing it. And that's my heavy favorite. My other favorite, because I've seen condition turn around this quickly before, Austin Carr out of Las Vegas. He was one of our favorites to win that show, the 212 division. And carb up went very badly, spilled over horribly, did not make top 15. Yeah. And that's a physique. To see him out of the top 15, and I think he was in the last third or fourth call out, and you could see it, the disappointment in his face. but shit happens. But that's an easy fix. That's just water. So that's, if he shows up, geez, lean and dry and tight, he'll battle Kerrith. He'll push him very, very hard.
No, I don't think you can turn that around in a week.
No? Okay.
No, I saw some pictures from the back, and that wasn't water, mate, on his ass.
It's fat.
That was good old suet.
Suet. What's that? Some British? What does that mean? Suet.
It's like fat or something. No, I was really hyping that guy as well because I think he's amazing. Like, I remember you pointing him out to me last year, saying there's a new guy. He looks like Kevin Navrone. He's got amazing legs, and I was really excited to see him. And I really got second last year to Keown at Chicago, and I was like, wow, he's really good. But I don't know whether he can pull that back in a week. I'd love to think he could.
Yeah.
But maybe he can just, I mean, I've seen guys do 0 carbs and all that and crash down and come in flat, whatever, and then they look great. So I'd love to think he could do that. I mean, imagine if you went from out of the top 15 in a show to
winning.
I mean, regardless of placing, I just hope he can pull his physique around in a week, because then at least he's putting all that prep and all that work so he can say, right, okay, that's how I look. That's how I progress for 2021.
Yeah, well, if it is suet, as you say, you don't go from soggy glutes if it's body fat to striated glutes in 1 week. The human body, I don't care what you do, it's not. That's too not enough time.
Can I mention two more names? Charles Curtis, he was top 5 at Chicago last week. Very, very good.
Yep.
Shorter guy. He's fantastic. Very good symmetry, thick, chunky. And also Jason Hebert as well. He's done a few shows now, and his shape kind of stands out to me. I think he's one that kind of I got my eye on. I thought he looks good. I mean, he could probably get a top 5 or top 3 here. Yeah, he
didn't get much of a look, unfortunately, in Tampa. It was a tough 212 was a very tough lineup in that show. Very tough.
Yeah,
it was almost, I won't say Olympia level, but it was one of the tougher 212 lineups I've seen in a long time. Moving on to Classic. So I guess you'd say the favorites are, Jesus, 4 of them. It could be any one of these 4 guys. We got Logan Franklin living right there in Texas. Logan won the New York Pro last year. I think he was like 9th at the Olympia. He was a little flat. He was flat at the Olympia. So he's really out for redemption since then because he was hoping to win the Olympia like they all are. And that put a fire under him. But he's a very hardworking young guy. I've talked to him many times. Big fan of his physique. He's got Arnold-esque attributes to him with the chest, the arms, the shoulder to waist ratio. He could definitely do it. Before I talk about anybody else, thoughts on Logan Franklin?
Fantastic. Yeah, I've never actually seen him on stage yet, but I had Milos on Globe Muscle, and he was Milos was helping him with his posing his last week, and Milos was just singing his praises. He said,
Milos is coaching him.
Yeah, coaching him. Yeah. He said, and I think he was helping with posing as well. And Milos was just singing his praises to the hilt. He was really impressed with him, and he was really, because he'd just come from seeing him that morning, and you could see he was all excited, and he's like, oh, I can't wait for them to see what Logan's going to bring in. But I know Steve Blackman likes Logan. He really rates him as well. Says he's got good. He's one to keep an eye on. So I can't wait. Did he do the Olympia last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he won 9th or 10th. He didn't do as well as he hoped.
Yeah, I remember. But he's a guy looking to move up. So, and he kind of does fit that classic, kind of criteria beautifully.
Yeah, and he looks like a Hollywood movie star, which never hurts. Never hurts. We got to talk about this kid, and he is a kid, 22 years old. Urs Kalecinski from Germany. Fantastic. Wide shoulders, tiny waist, flaring quads. Because Bumstead was at the Tampa show, so immediately people started saying, what do you think? How do you think he's going to stack up next to Bumstead? I don't think Bumstead's going to be beaten for a long time, honestly, but Urs looked very, very good. Talk about this division. It's like every 3rd or 4th show that happens, some breakout star that we never even knew about just shines. And this kid did. He's going to be a force from now on. What a name, Urs, which is short. Means bear in a few different languages. But this kid, and he's 10 pounds under the limit now.
Wow. Yeah, so I followed him on Instagram yesterday, and he followed me back today. And because his Instagram is the Miracle Bear.
The Miracle Bear, yeah.
And I was looking at social media because I was like, who's this new guy? Yeah. But lovely physique, beautiful I mean, like when we talked last week about the muscle maturity and how that's just a load of bullshit, it has to be, because the separation and the quality in his back and his hamstrings. I mean, what a good starting point. I mean, 22, you're winning pro shows, you're going to the Olympia, you've got 10 pounds before you even hit the limit, which could take him 2-3 years to get, if he really adds it, nice and slowly with good quality muscle. But wow, I mean, just what a future that kid has. Absolutely incredible. So it's always great to see new faces, but when they're that young, that's impressive.
And like you said, he's got that muscle maturity that we always think, well, nobody's really going to have that till they're 30 or 35. 22 years old, he's got as much detail and density and striations and fibers as a guy 10, 20 years older than him. It's pretty crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah. Steve Laureus, though, Steve did not perform as expected at Tampa. He was my heavy favorite going into. Once I heard Steve Laureus was in, I was like, game over, everybody. Steve Laureus, obviously he's going to win Classic because he's very, very good. Some of the best shape and structure in the Classic Physique division. Just the condition was a little bit off. It was definitely not what I've seen. I keep referring to the 2019 Arnold where George Peterson beat him. That's the best I've seen Steve. And if he had looked like that, he probably would have beaten Urs, because he's just got such a beautiful. I talked to Jose. I said, remember the old sculpture trophies that we used to get?
Yes. Yeah.
And they had these crazy proportions that were impossible for real life human beings. But that's Steve. You got a few. It looks photoshopped. His waist is so small. His shoulders and upper back so wide. So again, I think that was more an issue of water. I don't think he had a lot of body fat on, but we'll see. Because if it's water, he can get rid of that in a week. If it was body fat, good luck.
Steve was sharp. I think there's a guy that could pull it round in a week, because I know he was working with Neil Hill, but now he's working with somebody else. Is it not Phil Viz, was it?
It is Phil Viz.
Yeah, he switched to Phil Viz. But when you switch coaches right before, the coach doesn't, no matter how good the coach is, they don't have time to learn your body. Like when Patrick Tour worked with Iain Valliere a week before the Portugal. And he said, Giles, it takes me like at least a year and a few shows to properly learn someone's body and what, and how we work together and how they respond. But Steve, I mean, he was lean. He looked very empty, the muscle very empty. He looked like he'd been.
He was flat.
Yeah, I may be stressed. You know what's going on in their life. But I mean, everything's there. Everything's still there. I mean, but there's a guy that could do a Phil Clahar, 100%. He could come in and look absolutely tremendous. Maybe he was stressed, I don't know, but he wasn't missing any body parts. He's not missing anything with his physique. He's got beautiful symmetry. He's been second and third in the Arnold, and he's this guy's a heavy hitter. This guy's top 5 Olympia. Yeah. So he could 100% turn this round and win this.
Yeah. Now the last guy we want to talk about in Classic for the Texas Pro, the United Kingdom's own Neil Currey. Very, very impressive. Second place to Urs. And like I said, I don't think too many American fans knew who Neil Currey was, but he's been in a couple shows this season. He's getting some attention, rightfully so. It's a very well put together physique. It just really flows. He's got a good amount of size on him, great conditioning. Yeah, he's what Classic's all about. So I guess we're gonna be hearing more and more about Neil Currey. I don't know if any of these other 3 guys are off for whatever reason. Neil could jump in there. Neil could get the win.
He could win this. Like I said, I'm going to have to connect with him somehow, because here's a guy that I don't really know anything about. I know somebody at the gym down south, and one of the owners, he was telling me, and he says, Neil's been training at my gym for a while, and I've known him really well, and he's kind of been under my radar. I didn't really notice him until he did. Was it Puerto Rico? I think the first show he did.
I think so.
And then he did Chicago, and now he's done a few now. He's done a few shows, but very impressive. A lot of thickness for a Classic guy. The condition is insane. I mean, absolutely insane. But here's a guy that's has he got enough points for the Olympia already?
I think so. I've been checking. Every time I check, I go straight to the open men. I haven't been looking at the other divisions to see who's qualified. But I would imagine he's had a few top 5 placings already. So I would imagine he's probably headed to the Olympia. He's going to pick up some more points at this show. So yeah. Well, that. We have 2 shows. Go ahead. You want to finish?
Well, Robert Timms. He's an Olympia guy.
Yeah, Robert Timms, I think out of Texas. One of the taller, lankier physique, but again, super wide shoulders, tiny waist. Very similar to what I see on a lot of men's physique guys in terms of the proportions, except he has legs. So yeah, Robert, I haven't seen him yet in the condition that I'm hoping to see from him, because he's got a beautiful physique, that structure, that shape, such a small waist for a tall guy. I want to say he's about 6 foot or 6'1", probably has like a 29-inch waist. So yeah, Robert, let's see if he shows up in really great shape. He could definitely upset one or more of these guys we just talked about. All right. From this side of the pond, we now shift over to the old country, as my grandmother used to call it. Europa Pro happening in Alicante, Spain. You are going to be the commentator on the live stream for that. And it's npceuropean.com, I believe, is the website. They can get that info. But let's get into it. Roelly Winklaar made his comeback to the stage after a while at the New York Pro, Chicago Pro. Is that Roelly? Who's that? So yeah, it was not the Roelly Winklaar that we know and love, and we're hoping 3 weeks between that show and Spain. How much could he improve? Can he get his size back? Can he get his fullness back? And you shared a picture on the group text the other day. He looks like he's significantly bigger and fuller than he was in Chicago. So yeah, I mean, Roelly Winklaar, like I said, the only top two. This is the Spain show is a little different. The top two in each division will qualify for Olympia. So all Roelly needs is first or second place in this show. Not that it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, but based on that one picture, yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. We want Roelly that if he's not in the Olympia, come on now, because he's missed a couple Olympias now, hasn't he?
Yeah, last year, like he did 2019, he was fifth in 2019.
That's right.
And then 2020 he couldn't get there because he was prepping, and he said he was looking great. But 2020 was a disastrous year for him. 2019 wasn't a great year for him. But I mean, really, we keep going back to that 2018 Olympia night show, and when he did Prague, and he looked incredible. And it's kind of just been a bit bad. It's been a bit disastrous ever since. But do you know what? I saw a couple of pictures, and he's been. Do you see the one I posted of him with Vlad in the lift, in the elevator?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
I said, sorry, bro, elevator's full, because the two of them, like, and I tell you what, I've got a feeling, if you go and watch Globe Muscle episode 27 with part 1 with Milos, and Milos gives his opinion on what he thinks happened with, I mean, it's just his opinion with things like carbon and diuretics and water and trying to bring him in condition. And then if you go and look at it, it kind of makes sense, because I know Roelly, like I said, he really stresses before a show. And I think he was really feeling the pressure here. I've got a feeling, maybe it's just me being hopeful, but I've got a feeling that Roelly's really going to pull it out the bag for the show. And I think he's going to look 85% of the best Roelly we've ever seen, as in back in 2018. I think he's going to look, I think we're going to forget about Chicago. I think, I mean, he didn't look bad at the night show, but it still wasn't the Roelly we all know and love, Yeah. But I've got a feeling he's gonna pull it out the bag for this one. I really, really do, and I'm hopeful. And all I care about is that he looks better and he qualifies to Olympia,
which should happen. We have a couple guys here. We got to talk about Nathan Deasha. Now, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, when was the last time he was on stage? I don't remember him doing anything since 2019 British Grand Prix. Has he competed since then?
Yeah, when he did. He did. Was it Korea last year?
Oh, he did.
Or was it not Korea? Korea Hungary was at the end of last year.
Did he?
Yeah. Huh. No, he did. Oh my God, my mind's gone blank. Well, the last Olympia he did was, because in 2017 the Olympia he was 7th. 2018 he dropped to 8th, still top 10 Olympia. Yeah. He won the British Grand Prix in 2019, and he won. Oh, I can't remember now.
I didn't think he competed last year, because he was going through he's been going through so much strife with the local police in Liverpool with his gym, trying to stay open through the quarantine and getting tackled to the ground, and so much stuff going on with that guy.
He couldn't get to the Arnold last year. Do you remember? He couldn't get there right at the last minute, because he posted that video of him doing the front lap spread in the bathroom at like 2:78. He said it was ridiculous. He looked amazing. And then obviously he's had, but Nathan. Sorry, carry on about Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's been on stage. It's been a long time. I'd have to look it up now, but man, he's been sorely missed. He's one of the best. Yeah. He's got such a great physique, shoulders, the arms, the legs, just the proportions and shape on him. He's one of the few guys that can stand next to Roelly and not look small, I'm hoping I haven't been following him to see pictures. I'm hoping he's at or near his best, because if he is, he could win this for sure. He could win this.
I saw a far off video and he looked huge. He looked absolutely colossal. I know he kind of he got there a little bit later to Q8, later than he wanted to. But things with Nathan, he only prepped 6, 7, 8 weeks. He said 8-week preps. He said from scratch. He started getting shape fast. So you could look at Nathan 2 weeks out and think, and then 2 weeks later he shows up like he did at the British Grand Prix in 2019. So, and looked absolutely sensational. But things with Nathan, he can bring lots of different looks. And actually, and they all look great. I mean, when he won the British Grand Prix, the 2019, he brought like a really like sharp, conditioned top, and it was like a sleeker look. It was a bit smaller, but it was beautiful, really symmetrical, and because he's got lovely lines. Yeah. But do you know what I'm excited about? Because Nathan and Roelly were old training partners.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
And at 2016 Body Power Pro, Nathan and Roelly went up against you. That was Nathan's pro debut. I was there. Right. And Nathan came, and this is when Roelly was really peaking. He was really kind of hitting his, Roelly was like the huge name that no one could even come touch. And Nathan, in his pro debut, came very, very close to beating Roelly. And also, he came very close to nearly beating Roelly at the 2018 Prague. And that was when Roelly was at his all-time best. So, but now, are they a little bit more evenly matched? Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I think so.
I mean, Nathan could beat Roelly 100% here, but... I'd be very surprised if Nathan wasn't first or second in this. I'd be very shocked.
They're very evenly matched. They both have such powerful physiques with really nice shape. That roundness is a rare thing. It's not all these pros we talk about. Very few of them actually have that. So but let's talk about raw mass and freak factor. How old is Vlad Suhorochko from Ukraine? Is he 23, 24?
20, just turned 25.
Oh, he's old now. But yeah, you basically discovered this guy a couple years ago, right? You were telling me about him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, he's become a proven entity in a very short time. He's had already some very high placings. I hope he qualifies for Olympia, because I want him, if he makes top 2, I want to see this guy in person at the Olympia, because pictures, I don't think, do him justice. Videos probably don't even do him justice. So much muscle. He's kind of like the Ukrainian Nick Walker.
Yeah. Yes, no, that's how I've been promoting him and pushing him, because it's like he's kind of like Europe's version of that young gun that's hungry, and he's. So he made his pro debut last year at the NPC European when this show was in November. He took 13th place there, and I think it was 4 weeks later he went to Romania and took second to Regan Grimes. And beat Mokhamed and all those others. So he had a second place. So he's also got a decent amount of points. Came back this year. He's prepped by Ahmed Askar as well, and he was training with Nathan. He was one of Nathan's training partners last year.
Oh, in Kuwait! Wow.
Yeah, in Kuwait. Yeah, he's one of the camel crews trained by Ahmed Askar.
Oh,
and then I was gutted because I wanted him to win Portugal, and he got 4th. Andrea Presti won it. Tim Budesheim was second, and I can't remember who was third. Was it not Theo? No. But anyway, he took 4th place. So he was gutted, but he really wants to. And I tell you what, I will say this now: Nathan and Roelly will not be in the condition Vlad is. That's for sure. But also another thing is, I told him to bloody slow his posing down, because his posing was very amateurish and sloppy. And the thing is, if you actually really analyze this guy's physique, I mean, he's got so much detail and condition. It's like we want to see that. I don't want him to be moving too fast on stage, because he doesn't want to hide that like freaky condition. He needs to highlight that. I mean, this kid's hungry. This kid is really hungry for success, and he's been training with Roelly as well last couple of weeks. Yeah, they've been training together. So I wonder what Roelly makes of him.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was part of the camel crew. Thanks for filling in. You mentioned Tim Budesheim from Germany. He's doing this one. I kind of forgot about Tim. I believe I've only seen him once when he did New York Pro a couple of years ago. Very impressive. Just very balanced. I don't remember him being the most massive guy, but I do remember really great condition and symmetry and proportion. How do you think how's Tim going to do with this, you think, if he shows up?
Tim is going to be a factor, because I said in the last preview we did, I remember when he got 4th at San Marino, third was Brandon Currey, second was Hadi, and he was being called out with Cedric, and he was comparing very, very well. But that condition he brought to that show was exceptional. He's had, I think, top 6 at the New York Pro since.
Okay,
he got second at Portugal, but Portugal, he was holding a film of water and he still took second.
Wow.
So if he has sharpened up between Portugal and this show, and he brings the kind of condition he brought in 2017 San Marino, I think it's going to be third and fourth will be a battle between him and Vlad. I really think that.
Wow. Yeah.
He's impressive. He's very impressive.
And of course, Andrea Muzi from Italy. Oh, big guy. I get confused because there's Presti and Muzi. Which one is Muzi? Is the more massive of the two?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Big freaky legs and huge. Yeah, he's massive.
Huge delts, big back. Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, Italy's coming up, man. I mean, maybe they'll be like Egypt someday. Who knows?
Well, he's looking to redeem himself after what was he at Portugal? He didn't get a very good placing at Portugal. Was he 6th or 7th or something?
Yeah, somewhere in that.
Yeah, he dropped right down. And the thing is, his team member Andrea Presti, prepped by Mauro Sassi, Team Stones. You know, that must have hurt him. You know, seeing his team member win and then him get sick. You know, because I think they maybe felt like they were at a similar level. So maybe I would say he's looking to redeem himself. But what was the best I've seen him this year? When was the best? He looked very good early on in the season this year. But he's a top 5 guy, absolutely. Unless he's completely blown it and his body's given up, you know?
Because he was in this show last year, the Alicante show, I believe. I think he was 6. Yeah. And I mean, I could have seen him higher based on, I was just watching a live stream, but I was like, I was very impressed with him.
He needed to sharpen up, bring his waist in and bring his chest up. And then not the Portugal show, but the one before, he'd done that. His waist is like, he's really managed to bring that waistline in. And he's another guy that once he really gets it together, he'll be like Presti and he'll be winning shows.
Wow. I don't think I wrote it down, but is Theo de Guerrera doing this show too?
Theo, yeah, from France.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he's very good. I'm super impressed. Another guy, like I said, when I did a little live video talking about the list yesterday, and I apologize to a lot of people because as I'm reading the list, I said, don't know. I said, but tomorrow I'm doing a preview with Giles. I guarantee you he'll bring up some people I've never heard of that are incredible. I'm not familiar with them. And Theo, you've been talking about Theo for a while, and I never even saw pictures of him until fairly recently, maybe a couple months ago. Yeah. I finally said, let me see what this guy looks like. And wow, yeah, he's a very young guy too, isn't he?
He's 28, 29. He's had 2 5th places. He had 5th place at first call out at Puerto Rico, 5th place there. And then he took 5th place at Portugal. Here's another guy that's very underrated. And he said, Mauro, who's also his coach. So he's got Andrea Muzi, Presti, and Theo. Yeah. 1 Frenchman, 2 Italians. He's all part of the Mauro Sassi team. And they said that the judges said they wanted to have thinner skin for Spain, and so Mauro's been really working on bringing him down, because he's got a really good physique. You know, he's a fantastic poser. He's one of these guys. You see him pictures by himself. I've said this before, and he just looks kind of like he looks like almost like a men's physique or a classic. You know, he doesn't look huge, but when you get him on stage, go and have a look at some of the videos I put in MD Globe Muscle, with, like say from Puerto Rico, and he looks as big as Hassan Mustafa and Hakim, and you think he'd be blown away, but you don't realize how big he is until you see him in these call-outs being compared to the other guys. But here's another guy that's on the up, and he'll be first. I think he'll be first call out. It'd be interesting to see him going up against Muzi and what was the other one? Sorry, and Tim. You know, it'd be interesting to see how he fares against him. But Theo is very impressive, and I think I think after this year he's going to be on a lot more people's minds. You know.
Yeah. Anyone else on the open list that you're familiar with that could definitely be in first call out?
Very excited to see Pavel Baran from the Czech Republic back. He was 4th place in the Prague in 2018, the EVL. That was Roelly first, Nathan second. I forget who was third, but he was 4th. 4th, 5th. Yeah, 4th. I think it was 4th. I've got 4th place in my head. He might be 5th. But he was top 5, top 4 in a good show, you know, post-Olympia, like kind of Grand Prix with big names like Roelly, Nathan. And he did really, really well. He's not been seen. I've not seen him since. I've not been aware of him doing any shows since. And I'm very excited to see what improvements he's made, because technically, apart from, say, Milan Shadek, he's probably the Czech Republic's best bodybuilder. And I'm interested to see how he's improved, because if he has, he's going to be a factor in this contest as well. Another name is There's a new guy called Saham from Palestine.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know his age, but somebody said he's really, really young. But he's another one of these kind of like Middle Eastern guys that on Instagram, he looks mind-blowing. I mean, he looks really impressive. So I'd be interested to see how he translates onto the stage. Also, Christian Wolski. He was, I want to say, sixth place in Portugal. Turned pro in 2018 at the August Two Bros show in the UK from Poland. He's very impressive. Fantastic symmetry. And his first pro show, he got top 6. So he's another one to watch out for. Also, a British guy called Rob Taylor as well, making his pro debut. He's a freak. So it'll be interesting to see what he brings as well in his pro debut.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to 212. Again, I didn't recognize a lot of the names, but I definitely recognize Steve Benthin from Germany. I've seen Steve a few times before. Great 212 competitor. That's probably my favorite to win, along with Radoslav Angelov, which was he Bulgaria or Romania, one of those?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, yeah. Thick, from what I remember, very thick, dense physique on that guy. I think that's a good matchup. But again, I bet there's some names on that 212 list that I don't know who they are, but you'll tell me this guy's phenomenal, Ron. Wait till you see this guy.
Well, the three standing out, Radoslav Angelov. I mean, I remember when he turned pro in June 2018, and then he had some like top 10 placings, half decent placings, respectable. And then, but he needed to bring his legs up. He really needed to bring his legs up. But he's still, and he was way under the 212 limit because he's quite short, but he's got chest, back. But now he's brought his legs up, and I can't remember the placing he had recently, but he had a good placing. I think he's had a second in a pro show. But he's like I said, he needed to bring his legs up. He actually went to Classic.
Oh, wow.
And then he came back to 212, and I was like, no, don't go to Classic, because he's not like a Classic type physique. He's kind of like Angel Calderoni, thick and chunky and shredded, and it's not the kind of physiques you want to see downsizing, sticking on Classic shorts, want to see him in the 212 maxing out,
I think I want to say I saw him in whatever show he did Classic, and I remember thinking, what is this guy doing in Classic?
No, it's like, no, I couldn't believe it when I heard. I was like, no. But and the other guy, obviously Steve Benthin, was he second in Portugal?
I think so.
I think he was second in Portugal. I've seen some recent pictures. He's taken his conditioning. This guy is he's shredded, and he's had a good season so far this year. I think him, Radoslav, and Nasser Mohammed for me are the top 3. And there's a guy called Andrei Melnikov, Russia. I think he's at a 4th or 5th, top 5 placing recently. It might have been Portugal. I think it was. I think he took 4th or 5th there. He's very good. New face. So, but like you said, the others I'm not that familiar with.
All right. So we'll go to Classic. That'll be the final division we talk about. The names that stood out to me, I know Italy's Giuseppe Zagarella has done very well in a few shows. So he's definitely one of the favorites. You got France's Maxime Yedes, who he won a show last year. I can't recall which one it was. It was over in Europe. And you mentioned a guy who was second in Portugal, German Pastor. So
Elman.
Was it Yaman?
Elman. Yeah, he took second.
Herman?
What was he second? Second. We just said before we started filming.
Portugal. Did he take second in Portugal?
Was it Chicago? He was second recently in a pro show. My mind's going blank.
Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't one of the ones I was at. I remember that name.
Well, he's riding off a second place at a recent show. Let's just say that.
Sure.
Very, very good physique. Yeah, he'll be a factor. Also, is it Jose Maria Met Bueri? He's on Instagram as Madelman.
That was all one name? That would sound like a couple of
if you look at his Instagram, it's Madelman. He's got a huge amount of followers. Very, very popular. He won Portugal. He won Portugal, so he's obviously looking to get a second win, just to maybe pick up some extra prize money and go into the Olympia with 2 wins. But kind of like another guy that maybe doesn't fit the classic kind of embodiment of what I would maybe a purist would think. But he won Portugal in a very, very stacked show, and he's obviously coming for the win here. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on stage. I've never actually seen him yet. And anybody else you want to mention? Darren Farrell from the UK, another guy.
Okay. No, I think we've wrapped up the men's divisions. If we didn't talk about men's physique, I'm sorry, I'm just not overly familiar. I saw Ramsey's Rams was on the list. So didn't he just won a big show over there? So he's probably the favorite for men's physique in the Europa Pro. But yeah, all the women's divisions coming right up. Giles and Lauren are going to go over all the women's divisions. So don't go anywhere, guys. It's just going to seamlessly edit. Thanks to Jen. Thank you, Jen. We appreciate it. So that'll wrap up Giles Thomas and my double previews. We've never done this before. We never had two shows like this the same weekend that we both covered.
Shows.
So Texas Pro, you can go to battleupproductions.com for the pay-per-view on that. On this channel, we're going to be doing a live play-by-play Saturday along with that. We're doing a live panel. We got Natalia Coelho on that. Thank you, Natalia. Obrigado. So that's going to be this Saturday, 12 Central, 1 Eastern for judging, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for the finals. And of course, battleupproductions.com. And then for the Europa Pro, you want to go to npceuropean.com, npceuropean.com for that live stream. I don't know the time, the dates, that'll have all the info for it. And of course, Giles is going to be doing the commentary on that pay-per-view. So you get to hear his expert insights and that clipped proper British accent of his. You know who was really missing you and kept asking, where's Giles? Isabel.
Oh, Isabel.
She's like, where's Giles? Where's Giles been? I said, travel situation and all that. But we're hoping and praying he gets stateside very, very soon for the Olympia at the very least.
Can't wait.
At the very least. So, yeah, thank you, Giles. Appreciate your help on this, especially anytime we do a European show. I'm lost without you. I'm really lost without you. You know all these guys. You are the preeminent bodybuilding journalist on that side of the world for sure. And maybe this side too, who knows? Anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Stay tuned. We're going right into the women's preview right now with Giles and Lauren. So thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, welcome to Muscular Development. My name is Lauren Lotter, host of the Buff Bombshell Show here on MD. Today I'm going to give you my preview predictions for the NPC European as well as the Battle Up Productions Texas Pro. So I'm going to jump straight into it and we're going to go with NPC European, and I'm going to start off with wellness first. So my first prediction and top pick for NPC European would be Sinara Santana, and she is a new pro. I absolutely love her shape. I love what she's doing, and she is coached by the one and only Robert Phil, who again is somebody that I love as a coach, and I can't zoom in. But good luck to Sinara, who will be competing this weekend in her first ever pro show, only a pro for about a month now. And I'm very excited to see what you do in this industry, because I think you're going to be around for quite a while and just beautiful. So good luck to you. And then on to my next prediction is a lady called Devon Martin. Now, she had a bit of a, she didn't get the placing she wanted at Chicago Pro, but she's back with a vengeance, and she's going to be going to Alicante this weekend to fight for her spot and gain some points in the wellness category. Again, just somebody that I really like their shape. I think she's stunning. She's a total diva, and I just think that she's going to rock that stage, and she's going to fight for her place, if that makes sense. So good luck to you, Devon. Also coached by Robert Phil, and you know Robert Phil is the wellness creator, so we have to give him his props too. And then on to my next prediction is Karina Marquise, and she is also a new pro. And she got her pro card quite recently at Portugal. And again, another beautiful lady, gorgeous shape. And again, fitness model, online coach. Don't know what that was. But she looks like she has a story that I don't know about. So this could be one to watch. But good luck to you, Karina. And I hope that you achieve what you want from this next show. And then I'm going to go into bikini for NPC European. And I've got my personal favorite for bikini, the one and only Petra Valdanova. Petra is a Buff Bombshell sponsored athlete, first of all, but this will be her first show of the year. Petra gets into some insane condition, and she is one of these athletes that I absolutely adore. Like I said, it's her first show of the year. She's also quite a new pro, having won her pro card last year with Two Bros Pro here in the UK. She's just got a really great story, and I mean, look at these bikini glutes. How could you not love a bikini girl with glutes like that? So good luck to you, Petra. Cannot wait to see you up on stage and see what you achieve there. And then on to my next bikini lady, Patricia Lloyd. Now, Patricia comes from the UK and she actually moved to the US. Again, a relatively new pro, and she's coming into Alicante to earn her spot for Olympia. So let's see what she does. She's already a 2-time pro champ, so I think she's going to try and make it number 3. I definitely think that she is one to watch out for, and it's definitely going to be something that she is looking to win. So good luck to you, Patricia, in your bikini class. And then on to my last bikini prediction. I really like Sarah Fratella from Italy. Again, sort of a new IFBB pro, really cute shape, and I think she actually purchased some shoes from Buff Bombshell once as well, so that's a shameless plug. But yes, I do really like Sarah Fratella's shape, and just really cute. And good luck to you in Alicante this weekend too. I believe that for bikini there are about 17 ladies on stage, so it's a huge lineup with one spot going to Olympia, and we're just going to see what happens. And then on to fitness. Okay, you guys, fitness is something else. 5 ladies competing at this show. My top spot, my number 1 for the win, is Alex Small from the UK, coached by Shelby Starnes, got a pro card in 2019, and my God, has this girl transformed. She's 21 years of age, and she has gone from, looking good to looking amazing. Whatever Shelby has done, he's done it right with Alex, and she's just he's knocking it out of the park with her because she just looks incredible. Alex, absolutely good luck to you. I know that you are a fantastic gymnast too, so I cannot wait to see your routine. I think it's going to be spectacular. You are my number 1 for the win, and your support shoes from Buff Bombshell. So you know what? Yeah, I want you to win. So good luck. No, she looks amazing. Oh my God, I've never seen legs like this on a fitness woman ever. And she's quite tall as well. But good luck to you, Alex. You're gonna be amazing. This is your time for sure. This is also Alex's first pro show, so this is gonna be her pro debut, and I definitely think you're my number 1. Then on to my favorite fitness athlete ever, which is Mina Pajulati. I don't know how to say your last names. I'm so sorry, Mina, but I like you as a person. Mina won the Mr. Big Evolution Pro, and she's already qualified for Olympia, but she's in Europe, so why not try out this show too and see where she goes? That's quite a suggestive photo from you, Mina. But yes, we love Mina. Cannot wait to see her routine. She always comes out with really fun stuff, and she's just a really nice person in general. So good luck to you. You look amazing. And then on to somebody who is also doing fitness this weekend. It's Miss Debbie Fowler from the USA. Debbie is fit over 50, and she competed recently at the Chicago Pro Show. I really admire women who can carry on fitness, especially do the fitness category well into their 50s, because this lady's got so much energy as well, and she just looks awesome. I'm hoping that this is not an injury that you have and that you're going to be okay to do your routine, because I have been watching you for a little while now. So good luck to you, Debbie, and big shout out to you as well. And then my last fitness competitor, who I think will place 3rd or even 2nd, will be Kate Errington from the UK. Kate Errington, again, really nice shape, beautiful, IFBB Pro Fitness. Won her pro card, I think, in 2017, came 8th last year at Arnold's. She's got a great shape. I'm going to skip past this one. Some of Kate's photos sort of get to me, so we're just going to skip past all of it for Kate, but this is a nice one of you. But honestly, good luck to you, Kate, for this weekend. I hope that you have an amazing time in Alicante. And to all of the fitness ladies that step on stage, I cannot wait to see your routines and see what you come up with. And then on to women's physique. Now, women's physique just gets to me every single time, because I have to say I'm kind of confused with everything, because you guys, you look amazing, but there's such a line between women's physique and bodybuilding. But for me, Laura Pintado, IFBB Pro, I mean, look at this. Look at Laura's legs. Okay? How can you get legs like that? I don't know. But good luck to you, Laura, for this weekend. You see what I mean about it just being something else? Women's physique and bodybuilding, that is just something else to me. But this is Laura, and good luck to you. And then I'm going on to Modesta Halby. Now, Modesta came third at Mr. Big Evolution Pro last month. So she is looking to get her spot for the Olympia or get in on points, but she is looking amazing. I mean, I don't know how these women train, but somebody's got to help me a little bit with some stuff. But good luck to you, Modesta. You're definitely fighting for your spot at Olympia, and you look incredible. And then my last women's physique. Oh no, I'm going straight into women's bodybuilding now because, like I said, women's physique, there are 15 competitors, so that's quite a big lineup in my opinion. And then on to bodybuilding. So for women's bodybuilding, there are about 11 ladies competing, and the first lady that I'd like to shout out is Corinne Ingman from the UK. Corinne has moved up from women's physique back into women's bodybuilding. She originally won her pro card in women's bodybuilding in 2018. So I am excited to see what Corinne does because she hasn't competed since November last year with Two Bros Pro, where she placed second at her pro show. That's one of her clients. But I am excited, like I said, to see what Corinne does because when she competes, she really does bring another level of condition. And now she's going back into women's bodybuilding. I think that's pretty huge. And then into the next women's bodybuilding. Okay, Margita Zamalova. I mentioned her in the previous preview for Portugal Pro. Margita came second. Again, a woman to watch. She is wanting to go to Olympia. And I think, she wants to win. So look how incredible. I definitely think, man, I don't know if I could say this, but I do think Margita will get it. And, oh my goodness, good luck to you so much. 11 ladies, and you have all worked so hard for this. So good luck, everyone competing over there. And then I'm going to go into figure. With figure, we have 21 ladies. I think it might be the biggest lineup at this show for the women's category, and I'm going to go straight into my two picks, I would say, for this lineup, and I'm going to go with Anna Banksy or Anna Banks. And yeah, she's just, again, somebody with a really nice shape. I actually saw her at the Fit Expo here in the UK, and I tell you what, figure ladies are a lot smaller in real life, but then you just see them online and they've got so much muscle. So good luck to you, Anna. And good luck with your show. I think this is your first show of the year and cannot wait to see what you do. And then on to my favorite figure competitor ever, which is Aya Baha from Germany. She's so little, but she really has just so much potential in my opinion. And she came fifth at the Mr. Portugal Pro Evolution, or Mr. Big. But again, somebody that's really fighting for her spots on stage, and she's just wanting to, she just wants to knock it out the park. So I just think she's my favorite for the win. So I want, can I say Baha for the win? Because I just love her entire shape and her aesthetic look. So good luck to you. And I think that is everyone that I have so far on the list. Like I said, for figure, there are 21 ladies, women bodybuilding, 11 fitness, about 5, women's physique, 15, bikini, 17, and wellness, we've got about 10 ladies competing in the pro show. So those are my predictions for the MPC European, and you guys can check out MPC European on Instagram, and there will be a live stream to watch, and if you watch the live stream, I'm pretty sure you'll catch Giles Tiger Thomas with the live commentary for the weekend, which is something to definitely watch. And then on to my predictions for Battle Up Productions Texas Pro. We are heading into this weekend's show, so this will take place on Friday the 13th as well as Saturday the 14th of August. There are only 2 female pro categories, which will be women's physique and women's bikini, and I'm going to jump straight into bikini because I know that Ashley K. Fit will be competing on the weekend, and she's looking to make this show number 30. Let's be honest, she's looking for the most title wins going into Olympia. So I cannot wait to see Ashley up on stage, because she's actually competing at Battle Up and Center Podium this weekend. And it's something that she's never done. And I do think that Ashley will win this one. And then my second place for the win is Francesca Stoica, because of her look. She recently competed at Tampa Pro, where I think she got 5th. And if I'm not already correct, she is already qualified for the Olympia this year. But she wants to go in on another win. And I definitely think that she will be in the top 3 for this weekend's show, which has a decent lineup, I would say, of about 20 women competing in pro bikini. So there are quite a lot of ladies. So if you can just see Francesca over here from Italy, and yep, good luck to you, Francesca. I think that you'll definitely make waves. And then heading into my next prediction for Battle Up is Ivana Eskandar, who came second recently at Chicago Pro to Lorely Chapadas. She is very little, beautiful shape, and you know what? I think that it's going to be between Ashley, Francesca, and Ivana for that top 3 placing. And I want to see who wins. So let's see who wins the Battle Up Productions Bikini Pro Show. And then for Battle Up, there's also a women's physique round, and there are 24 competitors competing in this category, but many of them are new pros or pros that I actually have not heard of. And many of them from the list that I have seen are from Texas. So it's really nice to see the local athletes support the show. But this lady over here struck me, which is Macy Tony, and she is competing this weekend in her pro show. So good luck to you, Macy. Women's physique, like I said, is just something else. And it's just incredible. But good luck to every single competitor competing at Battle Up Productions this weekend in bikini and women's physique. And you guys can find their live stream. I think they're going to hold one on Thursday, where you'll be able to purchase it from Thursday onwards if you go to www.battleupproductions.com. And that is it, you guys. And just fun fact, Battle Up is actually promoted by Flexi Brown, Angelica Teixeira, 2 times Miss Olympia champion, as well as Freddie Naidoo, IFBB Pro Men's Physique men. So you guys, that is everything. I hope that you enjoyed my predictions and my shout outs for the ladies in these categories over the next weekend. I cannot wait to see who wins, who gets their Olympia qualification, who gets their points tallied up for the next round. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. If you want to see the guys, make sure to head over and see Ron Harris and Giles_Tiger for more information on the men's categories. And I will see you all again very soon. Bye.